What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Universal Mastery. Welcome back to my public YouTube channel. We have a very valuable and a very interesting subject that it is that we are going to be discussing in today's video that I think so many people need to learn a little bit more about. I'm going to be speaking about this from personal experience and all of the different observations that I've been able to personally make myself. And there's going to be, once again, so much valuable stuff that's going to be shared in this video today. What exactly is it that we're going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about Lilith and the misunderstood nature of the entity of Lilith in our modern times. For people that are starting to get into spirituality, that are starting to move into different forms of occultism, there is a common misunderstanding that is collectively adopted for the energy of Lilith. And I'm going to be addressing this in our today's video as someone who has a relationship, a connection with this entity from personal experience. All right, so with that being said, if this is something that you are interested in learning a lot more about, then I highly recommend that you stay tuned, and I will see you on the other side. Okay, so here we go. Let's go ahead and get started with this video today. So we're talking about Lilith. The first thing that I want to start with all of this is I want to start with creating a little bit of a context here, okay? I'm going to start with this. First and foremost, I'm a real practitioner of occultism. I have my own personal experience working with the energy of Lilith and working with this energy from a space of really trying to understand the true core nature of what this energy actually represents at a collective level. There is so much more that I have to learn about this entity that I really look forward to developing more of an understanding on, but I do feel like I know a lot about it compared to the average person. Once again, being a practitioner who's done many types of invocations and different forms of connecting with this energy. The common collective idea of Lilith is that Lilith is the representation of the rebellion against the atom. So the collective idea, even in modern feminism, Lilith is used as an archetype to be the rebellion against basically the corrupt masculine energy. And there is absolutely a reality to Lilith being associated with that energy. There is absolutely a reality to Lilith being associated with, fighting back against the unhealthy male or the collective archetype of the unhealthy man. Lilith is a powerful, independent entity that absolutely has a feminine charge behind it. Once again, at a collective level, the way that this energy has been adopted is as if Lilith is this warrior against men. Okay, so if I'm working with Lilith, now I'm starting to create sort of an adversarial relationship with men because I'm in my Lilith energy. And I'm independent and men can't tell me what to do, or men can't, abuse me the way that they maybe have in the past. And that's understandable. I can understand why women would gravitate towards the energy of Lilith and approach it in this type of way. But here's the thing that I want to say, and let me say this, there's nothing wrong with that approach. You are where you are and you're there for a reason, but these things go way deeper than that. And the true core essence of the energy of Lilith is not some warrior against men that has to find her own independence without men. And I'm going to be explaining this as we get deeper in this video. But first, I would like to create even more of a context of what is actually Lilith. So how many people don't even know what Lilith actually is, yet they kind of are assuming this archetype of energy, thinking that they know what it is. So I think the common idea is Lilith is this woman spirit. Lilith is this female spirit that shows up to me in a woman's form, a woman's body, and gives me some sort of support, whether you're a man or a woman working with Lilith. And trust me, there's a lot of people that connect with this energy, especially when you get into occultism. All right. Lilith is not a woman. Okay. The mythology and the identity that has been collectively adopted to the energy of Lilith is, of course, a woman, but Lilith itself as an energy is not a woman. It is a feminine energy. Okay? There's a difference. Lilith is not a physical woman like we have physical women on this planet as humans. Lilith is an entity, an energy that is most likely, well, not even most likely, that definitely is extraterrestrial in nature. That is of a higher density of energetic resonance than what we are as humans, which means whatever it is that is representing Lilith as that archetype is probably a collective of extraterrestrial beings that potentially are both both male and female in nature, comprising into one collective consciousness. So the idea that Lilith is just this woman spirit is a human attachment trying to grab onto some sort of understanding. And that's okay. You can absolutely work with this energy in whatever way that suits you best, whatever it is that feels right for you. But overall, we're talking about an energy, not a physical embodiment. We're not talking about a physical woman when we refer to Lilith. We are talking about a feminine energy, which can move through both women and men. So there is a common thing that I see, and that I know a lot of other people see as well, as we're getting into occultism. Of course, because of the collective idea of what Lilith is, it does seem to draw in a lot of women that seem to have a lot of trauma that's related to men of any sort, whether it's the father, the brother, the uncle, the ex-boyfriend, whatever it is. And a lot of the times, these women will gravitate towards this energy of Lilith under the guise that Lilith is this other woman in the astral plane that is then able to help them get revenge on the abusers that were in their life that were men. Lilith is a powerful energy. Lilith represents liberation. Lilith represents independence in a healthy way, no matter who you are. There is a reality for when you go through abuse with another person, whether it's a man or a woman. Lilith can support you through that process in re-grounding yourself and understanding you are worthy, you are valuable. You don't need to get hung up on someone who hurt you in the past. So in that way, Lilith is absolutely a liberator. But once again, there's a lot of people, it's oftentimes women, that are getting drawn to Lilith and are using Lilith in a human attachment type of way to try to then seek revenge or seek some form of, attack or justice against men for whoever it was that abused them in the past. And then a lot of the times, because, these types of women are sort of misusing the energy of Lilith as like a mechanism to attack the past abusers, a lot of the times these women actually never get to the core root of where these wounds actually reside inside of their nervous system at a trauma level. So in other words, a lot of women do end up spiritually bypassing their actual inner process to connect with Lilith, to use Lilith as this archetype of revenge on the men in the past. And women can do this in the form of assuming the energy of Lilith and saying, I don't need men. Men are pointless and they're just weak, and I'm strong because I'm in my Lilith energy, right? Which is only a reflection of how wounded that actual person is. I'm not saying that if you go through abuse that is from men, that's not a terrible thing. That is a terrible thing. And I'm sorry that you would have to go through that. There's so many abusive men out there, and there is so many abusive behavior patterns that take place between men and women, where men are overpowering women in certain regards and trying to control women and trying to, not being healthy leaders in many regards. That is a reality. But Lilith is not the representation of having to seek revenge on men or having to be completely separated from and independent from men. That is not the true core and essence of what Lilith actually is and what Lilith represents as an entity. And I promise you this. If that was the case, then people like myself, men like myself, wouldn't be able to establish such a healthy relationship with this energy. So there's something deeper to it. And once again, we don't want to use Lilith or any other energies in that matter as a bypassing for what's actually going on in our nervous system at a trauma level. That's going to require patience. It's going to require creating a healthy foundation, and it's going to require some time to go into those wounds and face those parts of the shadow, to nurture the inner child, to release those things. If we bypass using Lilith as an archetype of revenge to hurt other men, then what's only going to happen there is we're further repressing the wounds that are actually in our system that need nurturing, and we're just going to keep manifesting toxic men in our lives over and over and over again. Okay? So this goes for men and women working with Lilith, because as a man like myself who has been through some severe trauma and narcissistic abuse from my father, there's a lot of that energy in me that wants to assume that dark feminine archetype and say, fuck the man, my father, who screwed me over in my past. I want to get back at him. I want him to face his consequences. I have that energy in me too, and I'm a man, okay? But once again, it can swing both ways. I see a lot of the times it does swing towards the women though. And I think that this is important to address because men and women are so powerful together. And there is something so beautiful and so divine in a healthy feminine and masculine man and woman dynamic there. All right. So I just wanted to make sure that's clear. So this was the collective idea and archetype of what Lilith has represented, all the way from the story of being Adam's first wife and how Lilith rebelled against Adam, and then she went to go create demon offspring as a form of rebellion, and the angels went after her to try to get her to come back, and she denied them. And then Adam eventually meets Eve, who is the submissive female to Adam, right? This is story. This is not reality. This is like largely like mythology. Okay, this is man-made. A lot of this stuff, when it comes to the religious, belief systems and indoctrination, is man-made, and it's intentional. Let me say this. There is a reason why the energy of Lilith is being manipulated within the collective consciousness to be, I'm independent from men. I don't need men. I'm stronger than men. I do everything on my own. Men are pointless. There's a reason why this is taking place in our collective consciousness. There's a reason why Lucifer is demonized as the devil, the one main enemy against God himself, when in reality, Lucifer is the light bearer. There's a reason why, right? So Lilith at its core, and this is from my personal experience working with this energy myself, it has everything to do with stepping into that true, authentic, primordial, feminine energy within self. I'm talking about the feminine energy within self that is receptive, that trusts the process, that is very able to let go, that is able to feel the body, feel the sensations and emotions, that is able to tune into the intuition, right? That is able to trust the process. This is that primordial dark feminine energy. It also has its catalytic responses as well. When you are allowing yourself to be that sensitive and be in tune with your body, in many ways, this can be triggering for other people because you might surface things inside of them, not intentionally, that is showing them reflections of their own unconscious, of their own shadow, that sometimes can be triggering for other people. So that's that catalyst aspect of the dark primordial feminine. It just is in its raw primal state, and people either are going to gravitate towards it and love it, or there's going to be people that are afraid of it and are going to find ways to try to demonize it, right? Regardless, Lilith will be the Lilith. The primordial feminine will be what it is, and it will surface things that need to be seen. And if people fight against that and it's showing them a deeper reflection, they're only initiating their own karma on themselves, because we're all one. We're all connected. So that's one of the beauties, the dark beauties and mysteries of this Lilith energy. Lilith is that primordial dark feminine that shows us we can let go. And this goes for men and women. We would all gain value to some extent from working with and understanding the Lilith energy and connecting with this, extraterrestrial higher density consciousness. When I first started working with Lilith, this was back in 2018, and I was working with Lucifer first, and then Lucifer told me I need to talk to Lilith. And by talking, what that basically meant was setting up invocation and channeling that energy into my body. So I did that. Very quickly, Lilith presented itself as a motherly energy, a nurturing motherly energy that gave me a sense of safety and love. Okay? This allowed me to release my control and release more of my guardedness. This allowed me to start recognizing these parts in my psyche that are a little bit more protective and managerial, so that I could release them and better connect with my core, my true core, my authentic self, which comes from that primordial feminine energy. It comes from the void. This is another mystery of Lilith, is that we're all deeply connected to Lilith. We all come from that primordial void. Just like we're born into existence through the womb, our souls come into being from the no thing, which we can consider the void. From darkness, there was light. So with that being said, this was my experience with Lilith, and this only progressed. I started to become even a representation of that feminine surrender and that feminine trust of the process and feeling everything that I'm truly feeling. I became an example of that for both men and women when I was working with this energy of Lilith. This is the primal core of what Lilith truly represents. And the power of Lilith is the realization that when you're honoring your core in that way, and you're at the yoke of your soul, you don't need to have to protect yourself or be on guard all the time. It's actually very rare, because the energetic resonance that you're then in is in a resonance of trust and in a resonance of love for yourself, which then reflects back to you that level of safety and that level of love. This is the core of what Lilith teaches. All right? But you have to understand how much hell and how much shit do you think you have to face and embrace within yourself before you actually get to this understanding and this realization? A lot. This is why most people that are connecting with Lilith are just doing it in a surface-based way. They're doing it in a collectively adopted way where they heard Lilith represents this from some other person on YouTube or on TikTok that briefly spoke about it, but doesn't really have that deep experience. And now they think they know what Lilith represents, and they start assuming the archetype in a way that actually starts bypassing what's actually going on. And then using it just as a form to create more discord, more separation, more disharmony in the self and in the collective. Do you really think that's what the energy Lilith wants for us as a whole? Don't you think these higher density energies want us to see the connectedness of things and dissolve these attachments that we might have that are preventing us from really letting go to see it? I think so. Lilith is represented by the energy of the moon oftentimes, and this associates back to Kabbalah, specifically the Qlippoth. Lilith is in the sphere of Gamaliel, which is ruled by Lilith. This is known to be the womb of the Qlippoth. So whatever this energy of Lilith truly is, it's an extremely powerful initiatory force into the unconscious mind, into the shadow, the primordial yin that exists within all of us. Lilith resides within the roots of the tree. This is a primordial extraterrestrial consciousness, meaning it's been around for a very long time. So when we're moving into the sphere of the moon, Gamaliel, this is the sphere of the dreams. It's the sphere of the emotions. It's the sphere of reflection. All of these energies connected to Lilith, seeing inside a self, feeling the feelings and the sensations, realizing, wait a minute, maybe I'm operating from a space of projection and pushing out trauma that I'm actually trying to not see within myself. Lilith helps us to see these things. So this is the true core of Lilith, okay? And there's obviously so much more that goes behind this energy because it's such a vast energy, and there's going to be so much learning that takes place with this as a whole, especially as we evolve as a collective consciousness as well. Like there's going to be a lot more that I start to learn as I do, deeper connections with these different energies and then relay this information to my collective. But overall, Lilith is not the representation of fighting against men. Lilith should not be associated with this story of rebelling against Adam and that being taken for face value and then that becoming the core of what Lilith represents, because that's not it. Lilith is a powerful, independent, feminine energy that shows you your self-worth, that shows you what you deserve, but also shows you what's inside of yourself that potentially is putting you in resonance with unhealthy situations. That shows you have to feel through some of the scariest things to truly feel through in your body, even if you think that's not something you want to do. This is what Lilith shows us. This is why Lilith can go from something so nurturing and loving to a fierce monster. And trust me, when I went through my initiations of the Qlippoth and I was in the sphere of Lilith, I had dreams with Lilith, where Lilith was chasing me in these crazy hallways, in this crazy mountain with all these sharp rocks and everything. And then she finally caught up to me and she attacked me. She bit me. She was like a vampire in this dream. And all she was doing, all she was representing was the fear of what I had to facing myself. Lilith was the reflection of me and my own primordial yin coming back to me to bite me into release so that I could let go and then realize, oh my gosh, I'm running from myself. I'm fighting myself. Okay? Lilith wants the unity between a man and a woman. Lilith supports the collective consciousness healing and evolving in a healthy way. Don't fall into the mainstream ideas of what these energies represent from people who have unhealed trauma that are using it to project onto you. No one's perfect. We all have our own trauma. We all go through our projections for sure, but there's definitely levels to it, okay? There's levels to vulnerability. There's levels to sensitivity. There's levels to authenticity and communication in that authentic or honest space. So I share this so that you as the listeners can really understand what this energy is actually about, and hopefully it can help you to kind of connect with something that maybe you were already resonating with. And if this is completely new information, hopefully you can adopt this and integrate it into your system. All right. With that being said, this is pretty much everything that I needed to say. If you enjoyed this video, slam the thumbs up button, drop down into the comment section. Let me know what your experience is with Lilith specifically. I would love to hear it. Also, let me know what you've learned from this video, because I would also be very interested to hear what some of the things are that you potentially learned from this content today. Hit the subscribe or hit the notification bell. Get notified whenever I'm posting. I'm literally posting at this point all the time. So make sure you're tuned in so you're getting that consistent streamline of valuable information from what it is that I teach. All right. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. By subscribing, you are further linking into literally everything I do as well. So take advantage of that. It's going to further connect you to the content. Copy and paste this link. If there's someone that you know that would gain value from hearing this message, I encourage you to share it with them. Check out my Patreon. This is the first link in the YouTube description. You literally can't miss it. Okay. This is my Patreon. I have over 270 plus videos that are completely exclusive to the Patreon members. Tons of really valuable and powerful content there. There's over 1,200 members signed up. That speaks for itself. A completely revamped magic training course for anyone who is an occultist that is looking to get their hands and feet wet and don't know where to start. I have a completely revamped magic training course, which is literally going to be released in the very near future, with completely new updated content as well as a whole within the different collection sections, from occultism, initiation, rituals, all the way to regulation of the nervous system and education on trauma. All right. There is at tier 3 and 4 a ritual service that I offer. It's the only ritual that I offer for my collective. This is what's called the Universe B ritual. This is a very unique ritual that is designed to be an energetic transfer from me to you as the participant to support you through some of the deepest processing and integration of your unconscious mind so that you can start merging with it. And then your shadow starts to work with you as an ally in cooperation rather than against you, giving you unnecessary resistance, which is what a lot of people experience. Tons of people have taken advantage of this. There's roughly about 300 active members that are consistently utilizing this ritual service every single month. So if this is something that you are also interested in as well, I would highly encourage you to take advantage of it. First link below. Second link below. This is where you can book a one-on-one call with me, or you can jump into mentorships. I have a 6-week and a 3-month mentorship. I literally work with people literally from all over the world. Okay. I'm very passionate about this. I love being able to connect with any of the people from my audience and actually getting to understand your unique trauma history and being able to help you navigate through some of those really sensitive times in your life that maybe are still causing a lot of issues in your present moments. Okay, so what we do in these mentorships is we work on building a foundation to help you regulate your nervous system. And we also work on trauma healing by going directly into some of these core wounds and processing them over the calls. All right, so if this is something that you are interested in, literally, I just got a message on my phone. Cool. If this is something you are interested in, all of that is in the second link. Now, also in the same second link, you can book a tarot card reading with Alexia. She is a very gifted tarot card reader. Make sure you take advantage of it if you want a really cool tarot card reading. Okay. Third link is a LUCIFERS Foundation course. This is a very interesting course that gives you step-by-step instructions on everything it is that you possibly need to know to develop a healthy yet powerful relationship with the energy known as Lucifer. Tons of people have purchased it. People are continuously buying it. Tons of valuable feedback. Take advantage of it if you're interested in it. Fourth link is the YouTube memberships. I would love you to become a part of the Universal Mastery family and have your name appear as green, getting a little Universal Mastery badge next to your name, all of that really fun stuff. It's just super cool to have a collective of people that are familiar faces and also like-minded in nature. It's like a big family. So if you want to join into that, I would love to have you. It's the fourth link. Now in the fifth link, this is the final one. This is a 4 ebook bundle, but you can also purchase these books on physical form with Amazon. This is going to give you everything you need to know for the basics of occultism and can be used as tools for the rest of your initiatory process if you're getting into that type of stuff. So we're going to leave that there. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate all of you very, very, very much. And I really do hope you have an amazing rest of the day or night wherever you are. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.